All right, we're going to be ranking ways to look busy at work. Now, this one is similar to ranking ways to waste time at work, but it's not the same thing. Now, some of them overlap, but it's all good. We're just here to have a good time anyway, y'all. And one more quick thing before we get started. If y'all like the hats that I wear and the hats behind me, check the description. They're there. Let's get right into it, y'all. First one on the list, we got get a hammer and beat on something. Now, back when I worked on the rigs and we were just on the yard, right? We wasn't actually out on a job. The rig was on the yard, and they would allow us to make hours on the yard, and you had to look busy. They wanted you to actually be busy, but if you were good at looking busy, you could get away with it and nothing would be said. Dude, one of our favorite things to do would just get hammers, and if we heard the pushers were coming back to the back of the yard or somebody was walking back there, dude, we'd just start fucking banging on shit, dude. Now, I don't know what the hell we thought that we sounded like we were doing, but by God, we was making a shitload of noises, and I guess it worked. I mean, we never really we got busted a couple times, but it wasn't nothing crazy most of the time. Most of the time it worked. But we'll put it in might work because it can be kind of iffy, right? It's like, what the hell are y'all even beating on? It just depends on your industry, probably. But let's move on from that one. Next, we got inspect equipment. Now, I think inspecting equipment, that's a pretty good one, I think, right? You're covered because it's like, hey, I'm trying to make sure all this equipment is safe. All you got to do is revert back to the safety thing. Now, all these companies, man, they love to preach about safety and talk about safety, don't they, big dog? So let's put that to the test, right? Hey, I'm inspecting this equipment and make sure it's safe for everybody. Now, most time they're going to tell you, get your ass over there and get to work and shit like that. But I think that inspecting equipment, I do think you could probably get away with it. You probably could get away with that more than just beating on shit with a hammer. So we'll put that in believable. For sure. And let's move on. We are moving pretty quickly this time. This might actually be a 15-minute video. Shit. All right, next one on the list, we got lay under a vehicle or equipment with tools. I love this one, dude. I used to lay under rigs, and when I was working for the forestry company, I'd lay under the dozers and stuff, dude. And you just bring you like a ratchet set and stuff, dude. Most of the time, they're not going to look at the exact tools you got because, like, especially under a dozer, you know, a ratchet set and stuff like that, there's not a whole lot of use for it most of the time, from what I remember. But nobody's gonna question it really. If they look up under there and you got a tool set, dude, and you seen their feet coming, and maybe you reach up there and you're fucking you act like you're trying to take the plates off or some shit. Most of the time, they're not gonna question it. They're gonna be like, all right, he's busy. At least he's trying to look busy. But I think that was a pretty good one, dude. I love it. I used to lay under the rigs on the yard and take a nap too, man. Or you can even lay under like a truck or something and take a nap. I bet you there's some mechanics watching, and that is what they do. They lay under the vehicles and take a fucking nap, man. Oh, changing these brakes, blah, blah, blah. Oscar worthy for sure, brother. One of my favorite ones, man. I love that one, dude. I ain't used it in a while, but I do love that one. That one's amazing, man. Moving on from that one, we got walk around with a grease gun. Used to do that one all the time. A lot of these ideas I pulled from my past. So we would grab a grease gun. Now, somewhat we would actually grease things, right? If it's got alamite and shit, we'd grease it. But, I mean, most of the time, dude, you can grease everything in a few minutes or whatever, man. But we would just drag that shit on, re-grease shit, or act like we greasing. Sometimes we just go out there and kind of chill. Somebody's walking up or some shit, or somebody drive by or whatever, we act like we pumping on something. It's like, hey, why is that a two-man job? Why are two of y'all greasing? It's like, well, he's got to hold the end of the hose. It's really hard. Some of these alamites just don't want to take the grease, and he's got to, you know what I mean? So you can hang out with a coworker and y'all can watch some YouTube and shit. It's pretty good. I love it. It's one of my favorite ways to fuck off, dude. Walking around with a grease gun. And maybe some people, maybe some of you blue-collar guys that watch this, you may not understand the level that is on, walking around with a grease gun. As a matter of fact, I think walking around with a grease gun goes in front of laying under a vehicle, because it's really great, and they love it when you're greasing their equipment. It makes it look like you care about greasing the equipment, when really all you care about is just looking busy and fucking off. right? But let's move on. We got walk around with a can of WD-40 and lube. Lube everything, dude. You can. I used to do it. Like I said, all these come from my past, brother. I'd walk around with some WD-40, some PB Blast, or whatever kind of fucking lubricant spray we had, and I would just spray little bolts. I'd spray anything that, like, with a moving part, swivels, or anything like that, dude. Tools, anything. I'd just walk around, and I would make that shit last for a fucking hour and a half. A job that really probably should last about 10 minutes, I'd drag that shit out for an hour and a half. I'd double spray shit, man. I would double spray shit. Get up underneath the fucking rig and just... It's like, what are you doing? Why are you under the rig with WD? Man, I'm just making sure this shit moves right. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty good. We will put it in... I'm going to put it in believable. No, it's got to go in might work. Because... I think a lot of foremans and stuff are going to tell you to fuck off. Like, they're going to be like, no. So I do think it has a chance of working, but it also has a high chance of not working. It just depends on who you're working with, who you're working for, and what you're doing, I believe, in my opinion. So let's move on from that one. We got go clean your safety glasses every 10 minutes. Look, sometimes... this ain't even a way to act busy. This is something you actually have to fucking do sometimes. All right, look. On the rig, there's shit getting on you. Oil, mud, fucking diesel, all kind of shit getting all over you. And they want you to wear these fucking bullshit safety glasses, dude. And they stay so dirty and foggy and all that. It makes it dangerous. So yeah, about every 10 to 15 minutes, you got to clean them motherfuckers. Okay? And I don't know, in the context of just trying to look busy, I guess this is actually just more of a way to get away from the work or something like that. Hey, I got to go over and clean my safety glasses while you guys are still working. Whatever, dude. But fuck, it pisses me off. This is actually a legit thing. You ain't even got to act for this one. You ain't even got to act for this one, dude. Fucking Oscar worthy, baby. All right, it's going to piss them off. It's going to piss them off. But it is Oscar worthy because it's a real thing and it pisses me off. And we got to move on before it really just pisses me off. We got to move on. Next one, we got hold a flashlight for someone while they work. Now, I love that. My dad knows all about that, like me holding the flashlight while he damn, that brings back a lot of memories of just getting just straight fucking cussed out at like 8 years old, dude. Holy shit. Holy shit, dude. I was expected to hold that flashlight perfect, brother. I was distracted easy. I was so distracted easy, man. Come on. Daddy used to cuss my ass out for not holding that damn flashlight where he wanted it at. Most of the time, it's because he was pissed off because what he was working on wasn't going as planned, right? Like it never does. Yeah, I took a little sip. What of it? What of it? So we'll put hold a flashlight for someone while they work. I love this one, but will it work in adult world on a real job? Absolutely. Absolutely, dude. If you can find somebody who is naive enough or gullible enough or whatever to let you just hold a flashlight while they do all the work, hell yeah, dude. And I've done it before. It happens. It's something you can definitely do, and it is something that makes you look busy, right? Because he's working, you're holding the flashlight, the foreman or whoever is checking on you, he's like, okay, they're busy. They're doing their job. I'm going to go check on John Doe over here. I'm going to go check on Romeo. I'm going to go check on old big dog over here or whatever the fuck. Anyway, moving on from that, because I can't think of any cool nicknames. We're going to go with check materials and count them over and over. That's not bad at all. If you work in an industry where you have to have certain materials, kind of like I do, fiber industry, you can go and you can count materials, and it a lot of the times they like that. Like my people over me would like that. They would like me double checking materials, letting them know, hey, this number's right, this count's right, we got so many of these, They would like that, I think. Now, could I do it all day? Probably not, but I could make it last. I could make the first count last for hours, brother. And you can do that too where you work at. Maybe you're counting tools. Maybe you're counting inventory. Whatever, dude. I like it. And I'm actually going to put that motherfucker in Oscar worthy. Oscar worthy, baby. All right, because you can make yourself look like you give a shit. You can make yourself look like you give a flying fuck about what's going on. Really, you don't give a shit about what materials is there and what materials ain't there. You just wanted something easy to do to look busy, right? Because you don't want to go out there and dig ditches or whatever the hell you got going on. So, moving on from that one, we got sweep the same floor all day. Now, as good as I think this one is, sometimes I fucking hate sweeping, dude. I'll just go home. Like, just send me home, brother. All right, here's something I don't understand. A lot of companies, a lot of them want you to come to work even when they ain't nothing to fucking do. And then they want you to try to find something to do. Like they want you to be busy doing nothing. Why? Why can't we just stay home? You pay us like 8 hours. The same amount of production is getting done because there's nothing to fucking do at work. You think I want to come up there and sweep the warehouse all day? I would have went and applied to be a janitor at a fucking hospital or something if I wanted to do some dumb shit like that, dude. I swear, dude. I swear to God, dude. Sweep the same floor all day. I mean, it's a legit thing, right? It's legit. I'm gonna put it in. Might work if the floor actually needs sweeping, and you work for a company that's what they want you to do just to look busy. Then it might work. But if you work for a company and they want you to actually be busy and you think you're going to sweep the floor all day, then it's not going to work, right? So we'll put it in might work because it could go either way. So let's move on from that one before I get really just pissed off, dude. Carry a notepad and write in it every few minutes. I think that's a pretty decent one. I have actually seen this in I've seen it in action out on location, and we were like busy trying to figure out what he was doing. We thought for sure that he was actually like writing down specs for certain tools, writing down sizes, stuff like that. Come to find out, the dude was just walking around writing nonsense. Like he come up to us literally like a couple hours later. He come back up on the rig floor with the notepad, and he was laughing, and we were like, What the fuck are you been doing? What are you doing?" He showed us the notepad, and it's just a bunch of like squiggly lines and shit. We were like, "You motherfucker, dude. Come on, man. What are you doing, man?" He never did get in trouble or anything like that, so I guess he just looked busy enough. So we'll carry a notepad and write in it every few minutes. I think we'll put it in believable. Only because I have seen it in action and it worked. The only time I've seen it, it fucking worked. I think that most it depends. Again, all this depends on your industry and your job. This is just my opinion on all this stuff. I do think that works in most industries. Now, you're going to have an issue if somebody does come up to you, like a foreman or some type of management, and they want to know what you're writing down. But if you're smart enough, you can have a contingency plan, right? And you can actually write some things down. Hey, this needs this needs this, this hasn't been greased, something like that. And maybe you get away with it. Maybe. And you got to fuck off for 30 minutes or however long it took you to write all that down. So let's move on from that. We're going to go, this is more of a white collar one, or maybe a blue collar management one, which I guess blue collar management kind of becomes white collar at one point or the other. But this one is act like you're in a Zoom meeting, or if you're in my industry, fiber or whatever, and we kind of work remotely, I guess you could say, because I work by myself. We actually have Zoom meetings and shit too. So you can act like you're in a Zoom meeting all day. But this would only be for like if you're in front of people, if you're on a job site in front of people and you act like you're in a Zoom meeting all day, or if you're in an office, right? A white collar job, you're in an office, you act like you're in a Zoom meeting all day. I do think it's believable. I wouldn't say all day. Hold on, let me bring that back up. Let me bring this up. So yeah, it doesn't say all day. It just says act like you're in a Zoom meeting. I do think it's believable. If you want to be busy for a good 30 minutes to an hour, yeah, just act like you're talking to somebody on the screen or whatever the hell. And really, you're just watching YouTube, right? Watching Mr. Beast or whatever the fuck y'all watch. So Moving on, we got drive a company truck slowly around the job site. I love this one. I used to do it. I used to do it. I used to do it all the time, man. We'd be, like I say, we'd be on the yard, rigged down, nothing going on. I'm in the company truck, baby. I'm hauling tools from one end to the other. Am I going fast? Fuck no, dude. I'm taking it slow. You got to be safe. You don't want to accidentally run somebody over. It's a bunch of fucking dumbasses that work at that company, dude. You don't want to run them guys over, poor guys. I think driving a company truck around a job slowly, we're going to go with might work because a lot of the times, they might actually stop you and ask you what the fuck you doing. Just what in the fuck you think you're doing in my goddamn company truck, son? Yeah. So might work, might not work. We'll move on. We got fetch a tool at the other end of the job. I love it. Used to do it so much, man. As long as it wasn't too hot outside. If it was too hot outside, like I'm trying to look busy and fuck off inside a shade, like in a shade or whatever. Like I'm not trying to walk that damn far, but I do think it works pretty good. I do think it works pretty good, but at the same time, you are still kind of working because you're having to do all that walking, dude. You're having to do all that walking. So I'm gonna put it in dumb. It's gonna be the first one to go in dumb because it's a lot of walking. Like I said, I've done it before, but it depends on what's going on, I guess, and what you're trying to get out of. But it's still basically you're working to get out of work, right? So that's kind of dumb. So we'll put that there. It'll be the first one in dumb. Right? I like it. I like it. You don't have very many in dumb. You don't even have any in the bottom tier yet. That's crazy, man. I love it. It's a good list. So moving on from that, we got follow someone that is actually working. We've all done that. That is one thing we've all done. And you cannot deny it, man. If you get with a guy who is just out there just getting after it, man. I mean, putting 100% into it. You know damn well you can follow to some bitch and you can look pretty busy. You can hand him tools. You can hand him, whatever. He just hand him stuff that he needs or take stuff from him, hold stuff for him, and he's getting after it. And you look busy with him, right? You guys are a team. The foreman's going to think, well, Johnny and David were both out there doing it. So I get, you can take some of the credit. It's all good, man. That's some good stuff, y'all. That's some good stuff. Apple flavored Jim Beam. I'm glad my wife don't watch these videos. I'm glad she don't watch these videos. Follow someone that is actually working. We're going to put that in believable. I think that's a good one. I love it. I like it. I like it. We're going to move on from that one. We got clean tools, even if they're clean. I remember this one from the other list too. But clean tools, even if they're clean, that's a really good one for sure. Used to do it a lot. Seen people do it a lot. It's just kind of a known thing. Honestly, on a lot of jobs, the foreman, the management, all that, they know if there's not nothing going on and you're cleaning tools, they know those tools really probably don't need to be cleaned, but it's kind of a maintenance thing too at the same time. It can help. It's always good to have nice, clean, oiled up tools. If it's a fucking like adjustable wrench, a pipe wrench and shit like that, it's good to have oil on the adjustable parts and stuff so that they move easily and whatnot. Put it in Oscar worthy because it's a really good way to look busy even when you ain't busy. Really good way. I like it. Next one, we got look for the right tool. You're just walking around looking. I cannot find this fucking, what do we call it? A flubbergabber. Have y'all seen the flubbergabber anywhere? The fucking flubbergabber was right here, and I can't find it. It's like, this guy's walking around looking for the flubbergabber. He's pretty busy. I think sometimes it does work. We'll put it in might work. Might work because it might not work, right? A lot of times somebody's going to tell you to get your ass to work, dude. You don't need the flubbergabber, okay? We got plenty of flubbergabbers over there. Stupid. Moving on from that, we got walk around measuring random things. I have done this before, too. Probably one of the dumber things, honestly. I think it might go in the dumb tier. depending on what you're doing, what industry you in, I guess. But most of the time, they're not going to like you walking around just measuring random things. It will make you look busy in some cases, but at the same time, it's kind of a dumb thing to do if you think deep about it. I feel like if I was over a job and I seen a hand walking around and he's just measuring like random shit, yeah, I'm gonna be like, yeah, okay, this guy's fucking off, all right, and I'm gonna call him over, and he's gonna be in charge of, I don't know, cleaning the porta johns out or some shit for the next hour and a half. So we'll move on from that one. We got talk on the phone while pacing. This one is okay. I guess you would have to be somewhat of probably a management position or something to actually be able to get away with talking on the phone while pacing to look busy. Because if you're just at the bottom of the totem pole like me and you're walking around talking on the phone pacing, they're like, who the fuck is this dude talking to? It's got nothing to do with his job and what he's doing. Get your ass back to work. So I do think it just depends on, it's hard to say, but it depends on what position you're in, what industry you're in, and all that. So we'll put it in might work because it really is heavily dependent on what your position in the company is, what your company is, the industry, and all that. So it may work, may not work. It could be a really good way to get out of work, or it could be a really good way to get busted and all that good stuff. Next, we got carry a ladder everywhere. Now, I ain't putting in that much goddamn effort to look busy. That one is that one is even worse than like fetching a tool on the other end of the job. It's like all that walking. Not only are you walking around now, you're carrying a fucking heavy ass ladder. I guess if you carry a small ladder, but what kind of sense does that even make? Not a whole lot of sense, dude. So carrying a ladder, and the ladders I carry for my job are kind of heavy. I'm not carrying that motherfucker everywhere just to look busy. I'm gonna have to put that in. We'll put that in dumb, I think. Because, I mean, it could work, right? We could put it in it would do good up here, might work, but it is just dumb. It's a dumb way to look busy. It is probably my least recommended way to look busy on this entire list because of the work and effort you got to put in. You might as well work. You might as well actually fucking work if you're going to do that. What the fuck? All right, moving on from that, we got walk around. Shit. We got walk around with the clipboard. Obviously, this is one that everybody knows about. It's the most famous way. So, with that being said, since it is so famous and so well known, it's gonna go in busted. It's gonna be the first one busted because I just think it's too well known, dude. I think it's too well known of a way to look busy, and you just cannot get away with it anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. Everybody knows that you walk around with a clipboard to look busy, and especially if you're a guy at the bottom of the totem pole, you don't need a clipboard and shit. Yeah, you're fucking busted. You're done for. So that's the list, y'all. As always, if you made it this far, thank y'all, man. Consider liking, subscribing, ringing the bell so you get notified for my videos, man. I appreciate y'all. I am still just like in shock and awe of how my YouTube has just went from nothing to like 11,000 subscribers. This shit is crazy. And all this from just like an idea that I had, and I was like, nobody's gonna watch. Nobody's gonna want to watch this. I'll just do it anyway. And apparently everybody loved it. So pretty cool. But anyway, don't forget to check the description, y'all, if you like hats. I only have about 10 spots left for my hats, as a matter of fact. So if you want them, better get in there and get it, I guess. If you don't want it, that's cool too. I don't give a shit. But I appreciate y'all for watching, man. Y'all have a good night, day, evening, morning, and all that, wherever you are.